It's your boy Verse, and this is Open Mic with OTR Mike.
Yeah, that's right. This is the show where the mic is open for any discussion.
Feeling about OTR. I don't think we're
So,
done.
you can try to find something that's going to be interesting. Then obviously on the Wednesday we got the actual show, and then the overtime show, and I know
I'm all about
It's your boy Verse, and this is Open Mic with OTR Mike.
again.
Yo, what up, good people? It's your boy, OTR Mike. And let me be the first to welcome you to another episode of Open Mic with yours truly. That's right. This is the show where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. And tonight is no different. I had to hop on and discuss this, man. Look who's already in here. My man Brandon Bizell, and then the homie Big Reg. Living big with Big Reg. If you aren't subscribed already, go over there and subscribe to my man's channel. Dropping content about the Ravens, and he's schooling y'all a little bit on just this thing we call life. But look, man, I'm gonna try to be on here not long. Just wanted to hop on here quickly to discuss, what's been going on social media following the women's national championship game. Look, man, I could not help. I couldn't contain myself. I just told my wife, like, look, I gotta jump on here and I gotta discuss this real quick. So before I get started, let me drop, let me see, let me drop the link for the fellas, because of course, when I live stream, man, it is impromptu, surprise, nobody knows. Look, it just happens. All right. So it's 5 people in here already, man. Shout out to y'all who are in here. But let me drop this real quick and then we're gonna get it popping, man. So those of y'all are in here, man, what did y'all think about the game? Um and when I speak about the game, I'm talking about the women's national championship game um between the LSU Lady Tigers and the Iowa Lady Hawkeyes. Um, Before I get into all of this, man, let me first say I've been far impressed by the ladies' Final Four. Um, like they put on not even the Final Four, like the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight for the ladies have been dope. Now, don't get me wrong. Um, on the men's side, man, we've seen a lot of upset. I mean, look, we got the UConn Husky. Shout out to Big Reg. I know that's his squad. And then, man, we got San Diego State in the national championship game, and they won. They got there off of a last second shot. We would be looking at UConn and FAU in the national championship, which would be crazy. But you know, lunch break hot take. Shout out to the fellas. That's probably Jose. What it do? You know how to get in here if you're free. Jump on in here. But you know, the ladies, man, the ladies March Madness tournament has been popping. Like the games have been competitive. It's been cool, man, because as you heard me speak about before, my wife is a basketball coach, or as she say now retired basketball coach. As she said this was her last year. I don't believe it, but anyway, um, so it's been cool watching the games with her, man, and just breaking down the games and seeing the different things that she's seen, and just watching the game with her has been cool. So um bro, shout out to the ladies, man. No diss to the men, but the ladies tournament was popping. Now also, right, if you go back to my off the record days, my off the record podcast days, shout out to OTR and the fellas. Man, we did an episode. We we were doing a kind of a spin-off show, or our sports show. We called it OTR Sports. And we talked about this a year or two ago, how the difference in the ladies tournament and the men's tournament, just the treatment of the ladies versus how they treated the men, right? Like the men were getting 5 course meals, you know, world class workout facilities that they built for them within the team hotels. And then ladies, man, they had some makeshift, you know, couple dumbbells, a treadmill or two. They were eating like microwave food. So it's crazy. And a lot of people don't know that this is the first year that the ladies were able to use the phrase March Madness. Think about that. Now, we probably automatically thought that they were using March Madness. Just everybody was using March Madness. Around this time of the year, you just associate it with March Madness. But the ladies just this year were able to use March Madness, um, I guess, to promote their tournament. So it's crazy. It's crazy. But the ladies' game has come a long way, and they definitely put on uh, this tournament. Shout out to my man Shook. What up, Shook, man? He says, "Yo, Mike, Shook Knight 323. Go over there and subscribe to that." Brandon Bazel says, "Man, they just hating." Shook say, "I got a little something to say about this topic." Or no, I'm sorry, a lot to say about this topic. Suge also says, "I was more excited about this game than NCAA men's tournament." Yeah, bro. Like it's me too. Me too. Um Liver Big Red says, "Hey Suge, that's because UConn dog walked everybody." He ain't lying. UConn, um, kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, they were a dangerous team coming into the tournament because they got hot at the perfect time. And man, they kept going throughout the tournament. So, um, yeah, we'll see how the game goes tomorrow. But that's not what we're here for. Let's get this thing started, man. So look, as we all know, LSU won the national championship. Good game, man. LSU was pretty much in control. Um, excuse me, pretty much in control of the entire game. But you know, when you have a excuse me, had to get a sip of water. Hurry up and sip your water. But when you have a talent like Caitlin Clark, you're in any game, right? Um, as we know, Iowa upset South Carolina Friday night. South Carolina was a heavy favorite to win this year's tournament. But you know, I said all along, and I told my wife going into that game, when you got a player like Caitlin Clark who can score from anywhere on the court, 30 feet, 35 feet, pulling up, you're in every game. So even though LSU got up to a pretty healthy lead, um, going into half, Iowa came out second half, man, and went on a run. And Caitlin Clark was a big part of that run. I mean, they cut it down to 7 or so, but LSU kept fighting with their own star, in the likes of Angel Reese, Baltimore's own Angel Reese. Shout out to her. And LSU was able to hold on for the victory. But um, following the victory, rightfully so in so many regards, the two superstars are headlining the talk after the game. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Now, Caitlin Clark, let me say this about this girl. Caitlin Clark is a beast. In my opinion, Caitlin Clark is the best women's basketball player in the nation. She plays like Steph Curry. I mean, she literally has unlimited range. She could pass. She rebounds. I mean, she had a 40-point triple double during the tournament. Um, she also set a record for most points scored in an NCAA tournament run. Um, like just a beast, right? Um, me and my wife were discussing like where would Iowa be without Caitlin Clark. But when you got a player like that I call a glitch player, man, you in every game, like I said, that she's a generational player, right? And then on the other side of the court, you know, you got Angel Reese, who, you know, transferred from Maryland, which, I was heard about, sad to see. But Angel Reese also set her own records with 34, 35. I think it was 34 double doubles. Um, you know, with over the season. The run that she had this tournament was crazy. Angel Reese, averaged 6.5 offensive rebounds, like 6.5 offensive rebounds, not rebounds. I think she averaged around 16.5 rebounds per game during this tournament run. Like Reese is a beast. So you talking about two of the best players in the nation, no doubt about it. Um, so of course, like the talk should be about them following the game, but the talk is kind of not about their play. The talk is about what transpired at the end of the game between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, which is why this live stream is dubbed or called Angel Reese Classless, right? Because that's what people are saying. She's classless. She showed poor sportsmanship, all of the above. And we're going to get into that. Let me shout out some people. My man Hendo at the Rogue Pie said you snuck one in on us. Yeah, bro. I kind of sneak. I don't announce these things. But listen, man, all of the talk on social media, I had to jump in and talk on this. Let me get one more sip of water. I know y'all ain't come here to see me drink no water, but let me hurry. Let me get a sip of water. Thank you. So anyway, so yeah, man, I had to jump on and talk about that, Hendo. Man, you're more than welcome to jump on here, bro. If you want to, the door is always open. Mr. J said, "Thank God I was passing by YouTube, or I might have missed it." I know, Mr. J. Listen, this wasn't planned, bro. This is kind of, it just happened, man. But I appreciate you being here. My man Bazel said, "Man, hit that like button." That's right. Hit that like button. There's 12 people in here, and I appreciate all 12, but I need 12, at least 12 likes from the people in here. Hendo, don't be agreeing with Mr. J, man. I post the link or uh the link in the Discord before. So, that was a little bit of a heads up. Mr. J said Clark will be a better NBA pro. Let Reese pieces have Reese pieces have this one. I guess Mr. J is not a fan of Baltimore's own. Do you hear that, Hendo? Baltimore's own Angel Reese. You see the Mr. J talking? My man, the Wallace Way is in the building. What up? My man, cousin Davon. What up? Said I will be back on the playback. I appreciate you. Um, and Wallace Way says Angel is a star. Pray she doesn't date a rapper. Oh, Lord have mercy. Leave it to him to say something like that. Shook said I came to see you speak facts. I will do that. Let's see how much I gotta donate to jump on Mike. Hey man, holla at B and Jose to send you the link. I'm not that talented to be running the show and doing all that, but y'all are more than welcome to hop on here. All right. So look, man, let me get to why we're here. I was dragging that on, as long as I could. So again, all the talk are about the two superstar players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, but it's not about how they played. It's more about this situation right here.
After the game, finishing the way she started this season, LSU has been a confident group throughout.
That's what all the talk is about. Angel is now being called classless. As you can see in the video, she kind of did the, you can't see me to Caitlin Clark. And then she pointed to her ring finger saying she got a chip. I got a ring. What you gonna do about it? Right? And that just, man, led to social media going crazy. Jason Wingo says she has no class. Okay, we'll talk about that. Hang around, and we'll talk about that. Um, so that's led. See, like Jason Wingo said, that's the social media talk. She has no class because of that situation there. So my question to you guys is that just is she classless? Is that bad sportsmanship? Or is that just good old basketball trash talk? Now, um, would we have the same reaction if it was the men as well? Uh, Angel has been in the news about her play throughout the season because she plays with a lot of emotion. Um, but she does nothing different than we see the men basketball players, college, NBA. Um, they do the same thing, they play the same way. But it seems like when the women do it, they're out of control. Um, so, you know, classless, that might be a bit too harsh. Um, you know, was it just some good old shit talking? I'm I don't know. I'll let y'all help me out with that, right? But there's a second side to this whole scenario, of course, right? There's two sides to everything. People are wondering what Caitlin's reaction was or why Angel may have done this. Um, you know, but this is the second side to this situation that is also driving social media crazy.
I don't know what that means.
So that's Caitlin Clark, right? Like I said, to open this video or this live stream, the best women's basketball player in the nation, in my opinion, right? As you can see, there's similarities into what they both did. You can't see me, John Cena type thing, right? Um, the only difference in this situation is Caitlin Clark did that against Louisville. Um, Angel Reese did that against Caitlin Clark. Now, you tie them both together, right? It seems to be some reaction from Angel Reese doing that to Caitlin Clark because of when Caitlin Clark did that to the Louisville, the Louisville basketball team, right? So it's kind of like a get back, right? That's kind of how we talk shit when we play sports, right? Like you remember something that somebody else did, and you do it, or you get them back. You wait for those moments to get them back. That's how I'm taking that. Um, you also, right, Caitlin Clark, like I said, my opinion, being the best women's basketball player in the nation, you have a bullseye on your back, right? They are looking to beat you, right? You are getting a hell of a lot of TV play, a hell of a lot of positive pub. A lot of talk on ESPN and all the networks about you as a basketball player. So that just puts a target on your back. Like this is just what comes with it, right? Um, so the players are gonna be gunning for you, no different than Steph Curry and those guys. They winning, they killing. He's shooting 3-pointers from half court. Players don't like that, so when they get a chance to one up him, they do it. And that just appears to be what Angel was doing. But hey, look, let's be fair to people like Jason Wingo who says she has no class. So let's talk about it. The other side, as I said, that has created this firestorm is one, it went to classless, to now it's a argument on, hey, where was the Jason Wingos when Caitlin Clark did the same thing in the Elite Eight, I think it was. And that, as we know, leads to a whole nother side of this discussion, right? Um, you know, in some regards, it leads to race, right? You got people looking at it like, oh, when the black player did it, it's crazy. When the white player did it, we didn't hear any of that. And there may be some truth to that, right? But I don't know if I want to listen. like the sensitivity levels on all of this stuff is just ridiculous, right? It shouldn't never come to that, in my opinion. But the truth of the matter is, both players did the same thing, just in different games. The reactions were totally different. So calling Angel Reese classless, you might have to call Caitlin Clark classless, right? If that's what we call in this situation, if that taunt that Angel did, um, if that makes you classless, then we have to be willing to call Caitlin Clark classless, right? I'm asking y'all. Y'all help me out with that. Let me read some of the comments real quick. Let's see. Mr. J said, nah, not classless, but in my opinion, they're trying to turn her apart. I didn't agree. Talking shit is a part of every sport, even cricket. Yeah. Hendo said, it was cool when Clark did it to South Carolina. It wasn't South Carolina. Well, if she did it in that game, that wasn't the clip. She did it to the young lady that plays for Louisville that talks a lot of shit. And in real talk, man, let's keep it a buck. The ladies give it up. They talk a lot of smack out there, right? And rightfully, it's a part of the game. Like you said, Mr. J, it's a part of even cricket. Like, that's just a competitive side of sports, man. You talk shit, right? So this is, I mean, it's just what it is. Let's see. Kendall said, just like when the Lakers used to play the Celtics. Okay. The wildest way said that tech on Caitlin Carey. Caitlin Carey. Yeah, she played like her. What's Fugazi? I agree with you. That tech, that was a bad tech. That was a very, very bad tech on that. I think she kind of tossed the ball like to the baseline. It was no ref over there or anything like that. It wasn't like she was throwing it. When I initially saw it, I thought she threw the ball at the ref, kind of, or but it wasn't even that. That tech was ridiculous. I agree with you, the wildest way. But look, man, I have a special guest that dropped in, who wants to discuss this, and I'm glad he's here. Let me introduce my man, Mr. Shug 323. Go over and subscribe to his channel if you have not. But Shug, man, welcome to you can't see me.
That's what I'm gonna be doing in the dynasty league all year. Just doing this every time I win, just like this.
You
and then going like
can't
this.
see me.
Let's be honest. When we see Reese doing this, did we all not think of Hendo pointing at the ring?
Yeah, you know what? Hendo making it known with that ring.
I was thinking of Hendo. I was like, "That's Hendo. Look, I got the ring."
So
what's up, Mike? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for dropping in on me. So you obviously have some thoughts on this situation, man. What's your feelings, man? Let me know.
I do. I have a lot of thoughts on this. First off, this game, both teams played up until this game played tremendous. They deserve all to be in the national championship game. They played outstanding. You have one team that was just a defensive juggernaut and really played tough, hard basketball, and then you had the other team who had, like you said, a superstar that could score from anywhere on the court. And so it was two clash of styles, and like you said, when things are talked about, even culturally, it was two different clash of styles. The issue that everyone's talking about, it really, the people that are making it an issue are the people that are crying about tweeting saying, "Oh, this was classless." Like everybody said, it's cool when Caitlin did it, but now it's an issue, And to be honest with you, like you said, Caitlin knew what she was doing when she was doing this, and when she was, when she gets hyped up. If you lose a game, and if you've ever played sports in your life, if you lose a game, there's a chance somebody's going to bring that back to you, whether or not it's personal, whether or not people see this. And like you said, for the last 2 days, a lot of people have been covering Caitlin and not covering the LSU team. That beat some really decent teams, really good teams in the NCAA tournament. And when it's always focused around one person, you take it personally. Why aren't we getting that shine? Why is she only getting that shine? You know, and nobody's doubting that Caitlin's a superstar. She superstar, player of the year. Really, if she would have won most valuable player. It would have been all about her. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport, and Reese's team showed up. The Carson, who had 21 points, hadn't scored nothing like that all year.
She hasn't scored in the last 3 games.
Hadn't scored in the last 3 games and was like 0 from 6 from 3 and decided to go 7 of 7.
Yeah.
Other homegirl, I forgot her name, who hit this fall away 3-pointer, hitting the ground. Everything was just going in, and Iowa still fought back. Iowa still put up a fight, But at the end of the day, when you talk trash in sports, and even if you're not, and that's what people were complaining about. Well, she wasn't talking trash to her. She was talking trash to South Carolina. And if you want to be honest about a lot of people are upset because they wanted LSU, South Carolina in the national championship together, because it would have been, I believe, an all SEC national final. And that's what they wanted. And then here comes Iowa, who stops number 1. And that bothered people. And I mean, not bothered people to the point like they hate them, but it was like, damn, we could have had an all SEC final. And this woman who pretty much is a one-person show on this team absolutely lit it up. So now you're going into this national championship game, and LSU's like, where's our shine? Where's our coverage? Where's you talking about how good we are? So they took it personal. The Jordan meme. I took it personally, and guess what? When you take it personally, you're gonna do some things. And guess what? LSU players did some things. Out Carson 21. Oh, hadn't scored a point the last 3 games, and goes out there and push 21 up. And people are talking about, well, Reese did this. Like you said, she freaking 6 boards offensively per game. And she put 15 points up. People are like, oh, well, she can't say anything. She didn't put any points. She only put 15 points up. Yeah, but she still was out there. She was still making plays. She got into foul trouble, and she was still out there contributing. It's a team sport. So yeah, if you as long as you're doing something, if you're 0 for 6, you ain't putting up points. That's a different story. You can't really talk trash. You can't come out there and say anything. But Caitlin knows. That's why Caitlin didn't say anything. And I'm sure she's not going to say anything. She's not going to come out here and be like, oh, well, yeah, that's classless. So she's just going to be like, look, I'm doing me. And that's it. Because she knows she opened herself up. When you talk trash, you open yourself up. So that's just the bottom line. People need to get over it. Don't sit there and go, well, LSU's got. The only problem I had with anything that LSU did was they didn't shake hands with them after the match, after the game. That's the only thing. Other than that, I'm cool with everything they did. And then people were, oh, she was following her around on the court. Let me tell you something, Mike. If I won a national championship, I'm talking all the shit. Okay,
you won't be able to shut me. You won't be able to shut me up for shit.
Facts. Yeah.
Let me talk to the people real quick. Coach Evans, what up, man? He says, Mike.
Shout out to Coach.
Hendo says, man, in watching someone do something in a sporting event doesn't determine the make of a person. You are classifying a person based off a moment in time while they're still kids. Do you know them? Good point, man. Attitude Pop says it's okay for Caitlin to do it because she can make threes like Carrie, and that's what people like. But when a black woman wants to talk her ish or respond, she in the wrong. I love her swag. She herself. Facts. I think this is for you, Suge. Endo says, kiss the ring.
I guess it no ring. No ring.
B, what up? This thing, see, man, look, on my end, it just starts messing up. When B, what up, everybody? Jerry Green is in the building. What up, man? Come on, basketball has some of the best trash talkers in sports. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Gary Payton, Brandon Maxwell, etc. It's classes when your team loses. Iowa just needs to take that L.
I don't think
And
Iowa's fine with it. I think Iowa's cool. We're cool with it. They're like, hey, we lost. That's it.
yeah,
I think it's other people because I was looking on Twitter because I was getting ready for WrestleMania, and people on Twitter were these uh, uh, columnists or whatever you want to call them tweeting about it. And they're the ones that's calling classes. I didn't see any Iowa. I didn't see anyone. I see Iowa fans actually backing up Reese, saying,
yeah,
look, they beat us. Yeah,
yeah.
we can complain a little bit about the refs, whatever. That's fine. We can complain about the refs. We thought some of the calls were a little bogus, things like that. But at the end of the day, they still scored 101 points.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, I was like I said, I was discussing this with my wife. Like, I'm like, Caitlin Clark probably doesn't give a shit. Like she, like you said, Shook, she knows the game, right? It's a
Yeah.
part of the game. Yo, you got me. You know, players like that, great players like herself, like Angel Reese, you know, they tuck that away and say, but when I catch you next year, it's on. You know what I mean? And that's just and when Angel talked after the game and she said, look, man, she is a great player. But, you know, I took some things that she said and that she did personally. And I felt like she disrespected my point guard. And on top of that, you know, we even though South Carolina, you know, that's our rival, but she was like, you know, I had to show some SEC love. Those are my girls over there. So I took some things personal, but nothing against her. She's a great player. You know what I mean? And you know, I think I think this in to Hendo's point. He says, and women get the raw end when it comes to showing emotion in sports. Exactly. That's the exact it's you cannot when women show any type of emotion, man, you get comments like this. That Angel is a thug. Yeah.
And well, hold up. Let me ask you a question, Mike. Why is it okay for a guy to be a thug and a woman can't be a thug?
Right. So and that's my point to this. Like if you know if the pristine faith, if you're saying that as you're watching the men's basketball games, then fine, you're okay with, I'm okay with you have sharing that opinion. But if you're not saying that and you just pointing that to the women, and if you're not calling, if she's a thug based off of um you know the thing that she did, then okay, so pristine faith, right? I like to have healthy debate. So let me ask you this: if she's a thug for doing this and doing this, is Caitlin Clark a thug as well? Because we know that she did the same thing, right? Like that's my only problem in this situation, right?
Yeah.
If you're not calling both players classless, if you're not calling both players thugs, if you're not calling both players or say that that both of them didn't show sportsmanship, then that's the problem in this entire situation. That's it.
And Caitlin was a thug because when she beat Louisville, she told homegirl, "Shut up! Look at we're up
Yeah,
50.
look at the
Shut up!"
score. Yo, Caitlin Clark
Like,
is one of the biggest trash talkers in the game. So you know it's I don't
Pristine faith.
understand it.
If you've never seen disrespect from men like that, then you've never been to a basketball game. Because let me tell you something. I have heard the worst trash talking on the court. I have been to professional basketball games, and if you hear some of the things that players say to each other, you would not think that. I have football players say things like that, but basketball players, any sport. Hell, I play Magic the Gathering and I talk crap to people. Okay, we're in a dynasty together, Mike. How much crap talk do we all talk to each other
all day
like
long?
Like that is part of life. Crap
All day
talking is a
long.
part of life, and it can get disrespectful when it gets heated. But at the end of the day, a lot of these players know, like you said, if Reese didn't come out and say that, if Reese didn't come out and say she's a great player, I could see people saying, well, she didn't give respect to her. Which she doesn't even have to be honest with you. You don't have to do that. But she came out and said, I respect her game. But I took things she said personally. I took what she did to South Carolina personally. So I used that to win this game.
Yeah.
Dude, that's anybody. Look at Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah,
look at how
like,
they hate each other.
like
But they
Jared
will
said.
say they respect each other's game, but they hate each other. That's
Jared,
part of sports. That
like
happens.
like Jared said, like Jared Green said, man, some of the best players in the game are the greatest trash talkers in the world. Yeah, I mean, it's well known that Larry Bird is probably one of the greatest trash talkers ever. It's just what
Yes.
it is. We know Michael Jordan would take you out the night before he playing you and then drop 50 on you. Like that's just what he did. Shout out to Danity. Danity says Baltimore. That's right.
Yeah, I didn't know Reese was from Baltimore, but period of faith. It don't matter if you follow him around. That's part of the game. That's part of the game. I'm sorry. You can't make rules up all of a sudden and be like, oh well, I'm sad that she followed her around. You can't do that. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter.
Shout out to my brother Jeremy Miller. He says I don't have a problem with it. I've seen touchdown celebrations that go too far as taunting, and in basketball. There you go. My man Hendo says she's a thug based on her skin. It's a possibility. Be it fair to pristine face. I've never seen anything so disrespectful from men. That's cool. Like I said, it just has to be shown on both sides of the fence. That's all I'm saying. Let's see who else. My man, my man Ferris in the building said we got a troll. That's okay. We are. Especially I got my man up here too. We always ready for smoke. You know that's not a problem. Let's see. Sky Hefner is in here. He says she will learn from this. Hopefully, taunting her opponent is going to look really bad to a pro team looking for someone to be the face of the franchise.
No, it's not. They're gonna. That's gonna make them want her more. That's gonna make them want her more. This is a different generation of women's basketball players. These players aren't gonna sit here and lie down and just take trash talk. No, they're gonna trash talk back, and they're gonna trash talk a lot more. And that's not going to turn the team off. That's not. Are you really going to think trash talk is going to turn a team off when teams out there will take a chance on somebody that's been arrested, been accused of stuff? And I'm talking about cross sports. I'm not just talking women, but have been arrested and accused of stuff. But you think trash talking? Oh, that's going to deter them. Oh my God,
Kaylin,
John Cena thing. Oh my God,
Kaylin was definitely directed to someone.
She did that to. She did it to the white girl on Louisville.
Who she also
who's also a great player. Who also is a great player
and a great
but
shit talker.
She did that to her. Yeah, and that girl, I forget her name. I apologize. She was talking shit to Caitlyn. They were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You can't
competitive basketball, man.
Come on, you can't sit here and get mad and call it poor sportsmanship.
Because he also said this. Caitlyn also said this to the young lady on
Straight said, "Shut up and look at the scoreboard."
That it is what it is. Reese apparently followed her all over the court to taunt her. Okay.
Hey, when you win a national championship, something you're working your whole life for, you are gonna do. Do you know what the Celtics did to the Lakers when they won that NBA championship, and how much they taunted Kobe? And what happened? Kobe came back the next year and won another championship. And then that pushed them to win against the Baltimore Celtics. And we don't talk about Game 7 and maybe the rest being involved. We won't talk about that. But do you know how much Pau Gasol? Think about that, Mike. How much was Pau Gasol ridiculed after losing to the Celtics in the finals? He was dragged through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that game, and people made fun of him. And what happened? 2 years later, he's in the finals against the Celtics and plays. He's a different person. Trash talk is part of the game, and it helps to get your game grow.
It's poor sportsmanship and gamesmanship. Okay, I mean,
don't play a game with me. Don't play a game with me because I'm a poor sport and a bad gamemanship.
You're entitled to that. Like I said, my only gripe with people who are on that side of it, and listen, you're entitled. Everybody's entitled to how they feel about this situation. My only gripe is it has to be called the same way all the way around. If you're not calling Caitlin Clark, yeah.
Mike, he said they didn't taunt Kobe on the court like that. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There was
Listen,
chance that we could go through Kobe's whole career. Chance of you're not good as Shaq. You're not Jordan. You're not LeBron. The rape allegations. The you airball. Quitting on the team versus the Suns. Losing to the Celtics. Are you kidding me?
yeah.
Are
So look,
you kidding me? Come on, man.
let's do this again. Let's do this again for people watching.
After the game, finishing the way she started this season, LSU has been a confident group throughout.
Caitlin
Hey.
ain't playing no mind, but hold on, there's another side shot.
I don't know what that means.
That's
If
what
you
killers do, bro.
if you didn't see 10 cutting across her sight line, and you didn't see Caitlin looking at 10 when she did that.
And if you look at the clip, it's a little longer. Homegirl walks by her. She directly was doing it to Homegirl.
Yeah,
She was.
yeah.
I'm sorry if anybody knows the girl's name, but she's from Louisville. The white girl with she wears
yeah.
great, really good
It's,
too.
it's,
There you go, Haley.
Van Lee-
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, look, it is what it is. If you're not gonna call, because the both of those plays look similar to me. They both did the same thing. Actually, Kaylin did hers a game or two before that, so it was Angel doing the same thing she did, right? As a dig at her. If you're not gonna call them both poor sportsmanship, then I don't want to hear any talk about it. You could have an opinion on both sides of it. I don't care what side you lie on. I'm not here to convince you that you should be on one side or the other. I'm just saying you at least got to call both of them unsportsmanlike or classless if that's what we're going to do on this side or with this discussion. Me personally, I think it's just basketball. I think if you got women, if you got the guys doing it who do it all the time, right? I've seen NBA players run down the court doing this with their hands between their legs, doing the big balls dance, right? You know what I'm saying?
Mike, you're old enough to remember what was the Las Vegas team with like Larry Johnson and all them, and they would just run down the court, dunk on people, and flexing. The Fab Five, shoot a three and just flex on you. Come on, man, that's sports. That's just and the thing. And let's be honest, the reason why it's magnified is because it was in the national championship game. Yeah. Okay, and you're talking about a player that just put up 40 points. 8 something rebounds, 9 assists, crazy numbers, playing against a team, like I said, real rugged, real tough about defense and everything like that. And it's how they're going to shut her down. How are they going to shut her down? And she goes off that first quarter. She has 14 points, made 3 or 4 threes, and you're like, oh crap, she might go off again. And then they adjusted, figured it out, and kind of slowed her down, slowed the team down, and they ran all over her. Ran all over Iowa. And so what are you going to do? You're going to talk your trash. You're going to do this. You're going to say, I got the ring now. That's just what it is. And I don't and guarantee you Caitlin knows that. Caitlin knows that. We've seen it.
Listen, Caitlin is so unbothered by this. Like let me see. Someone here made a comment. Let me see. Anon said, the refs helped LSU win. This will make it great rematch next year. Ratings will be amazing. And then I think it was somebody. I think Jared said something similar. Like, the only thing that Caitlin is doing with this situation is tucking it away and saying, "Angel, I'm gonna bust your ass next time I see you." Like that's it. That's what great ball players do it.
Yeah, if they run into each other, if Angel Reese and her are both in college next year and they run into each other that game again, oh, you best believe that game's going to have ratings.
Yeah, and I want to,
and then NCAA is going to push that, so you're going to be okay with them pushing that narrative of these two players being, going at each other, and you're okay with that, but you want to make it an issue.
They're gonna make money off of it. And
oh heck yeah!
I wanted to point this out. Jeremy said, I just hate this is for women's basketball because this is the most coverage it's gotten in a while. Good and bad reasons. You're right. As I opened the show by saying, a lot of people don't know that this is the very first year that the women has been able to use the phrase March Madness. A lot of people don't know that. You just automatically associate this time of year with March Madness. Oh, Mikey.
The
The
wambulance
popo
is
coming.
showing up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
the
had me
popo coming.
scared. I almost dipped off, But no, um, so the women's game has been overlooked for years. Like I said before, off the record, man, when I was on off the record, we did an episode about just the difference in the treatment between the men and the women in during March Madness, right? Just men getting treated 5 stars, the ladies having microwavable meals, stuff like that. So, you know, they are getting a lot more pub this year, and um and to be 100%, their Final Four has outplayed the men. I feel like,
Absolutely. I still want
um
San Diego to win because I'm from Cali. But yeah,
yeah,
100%.
but I don't, it's not that it's a bad thing, Jeremy. It's just that people need to wake up and realize that women play like that too. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
Women,
There's nothing wrong with this. There's
women,
nothing wrong with how you had
yeah,
two players emotional about the game, and then we give. I think that's the problem, Mike. It's not about the
yeah.
trash talking. It's the fact that we had teams, women teams, and they were showing a different side of women's basketball that people did not like to
Mhm.
see. As where we see when we think of women's basketball, we just think of people being nice to each other, courteous, playing hard, but they're it's at the end of the game. It's cool. Like I said, the only problem I had was maybe LSU should have shook their hand at the end of the game, but they decided not to. Hey, their
Yeah.
business, whatever.
Well,
But
and then I peeped that too, but I feel like, especially in national championship game, like, they're celebrating. So it's hard to
true.
line up. Like, I know the kids and the coaches that were on the bench or whatever, they still lined up. But man, they on the floor, they celebrating in confetti, But I agree. Like, you might find some time to seek them out and shake their hand. But listen, man, it's basketball. Once we all start looking at it as basketball, and then look at it as the women's game is catching up, which is a good thing. It's a good thing all around for sports. You know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been this many eyes, as Jeremy said, there hadn't been this many eyes on women's basketball in years, and this is a good thing for the sport as a whole. So, you've got, as we said, Caitlin Clark, who played like Steph Curry, like, she's a beast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Angel is a beast. You got a ton of other players out here that were beast, and
The
they all were
Cavalier
front and center.
twins. The Cavalier
Yeah,
twins from Miami. They're making money. They ain't this level basketball players, but they got Miami to the Elite Eight. They're making money. Indiana had some good players. This is the most we've ever actually heard of individual women players since maybe UConn back in the day, where you heard of Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. We haven't had this crop of players ever.
Mhm.
I think in NCAA women's history, where there's so many different players. The girl from the girl from UConn, the one girl Paige from UConn who's hurt this
Yeah,
year,
Paige
will be
Brooklyn.
back
Yeah,
next year. She's coming with the fire because
yeah.
now everybody
And she's
forgot
a
about
beast.
her, and she's
And,
a
and,
beast.
and
So,
I don't know how many but her and Caitlin Clark like played on the same AAU team. So you imagine?
yeah, I think they play against each other in high school or no? I'm not sure.
I'm
I
not
think I
sure. I
seen
know
that.
I know they played together or something like that, because it was talk at one time when they were coming out that they might go to school together
That would be
somewhere.
scary.
Well, that would have been very scary.
And it also put a lot of schools on the map. You got LSU
Mhm.
now, and when you got Indiana, you got Iowa, who was never a great a great basketball school as far as I know. I'm not
Mhm.
a historian, but Iowa, you have the South Carolinas, you have all these teams, and I
Mhm.
think that was the problem, and I think that was what the South Carolina coach was speaking to, was why all of a sudden when we play hard basketball and everything, we're being labeled as stuff. Just say it's hard
Yeah.
basketball, it's tough and rough basketball. It's fearsome, fear basketball, and then you're
Mhm.
putting all these names on us, and and again, Caitlin deserves all the credit, but also too, this
Mhm.
is something that ESPN needs to work on. Understand that and I said in the beginning, when you put the spotlight on one person,
Mhm.
everybody's gonna go across the board to be like, oh, they're only getting the spotlight. All right, cool. And then when you do it, and you don't do it for other players, and especially when they're different skin colors, it makes it seem like, oh wait, so you're giving them shine but not
Right.
me, because why? So ESPN needs to learn how to do that a lot better. So then things like this, people can't point to it and say, "Oh, well, this is what you're doing," and say, "No, we're not. We're doing it." Obviously because this player is a great player. And not and they need to be better at that. Um, Paige was the star. Was it? So I'm reading as Mike takes care of some stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I was trying to get, as I opened the show, I said my wife is a basketball coach.
Oh, she
So
is nice.
I was trying to get to see if she wanted to come on and give her opinion on it. She does not.
Okay.
So but she just said that, it's a part of the game. She clapped back, Angel clapped back at Caitlyn, who Caitlyn did the
And it's
same,
and again, move on, move
yeah,
on. And
yeah.
that's why I said I don't think the people. I don't think it's Iowa's making an issue. I don't think it's Caitlin's making an issue. I don't even think. I think it's people outside of that, outside of people that know basketball, know the
Mhm.
game, that are making an issue. And because there were so many eyes on this, they saw that and they go, "Oh, this is why." They make an excuse. "Oh, this is why we don't want to
Yeah.
watch it, because thugs are and ghetto people." Let me tell you something. If you know anything about me, I love me a ghetto woman. So it's all I love me ghetto woman. So with the fact that Reese was just doing this, and Caitlyn too. Caitlyn was, dude. I love that. Like, if you watch the games Caitlyn played, she was emotional. She was into it. She was hyped about it, and so was Angel. So was the LSU players. So were the Iowa players. So South Carolina. All these teams. Look at the Miami, and their the twin was shushing the crowd when she made a free throw. Like, dude, it's okay. Like, this is basketball. They talk trash,
It is.
and
It is.
unless you're really disrespecting somebody, dude. This and she wasn't disrespecting her going like this to the ring. She won the ring.
First of
She
all,
won.
and she been doing this since they
Forever.
got it to since they won their Elite Eight game, because the Elite Eight game they won their region, so that you get a championship for winning your region. So she started doing that then, right? So it. I just feel like that part of it is water under the bridge. Caitlin Clark, she took out maybe the best team in college basketball all around. Like the way South Carolina was built, um, you know, didn't lose any games this year. Was a game away from the championship, and Caitlin Clark and her team balled out, and she got the props for that. Right? They were heavy underdogs going into that South Carolina game, and she took them out. And they were the favorite going into this game, and she lost. It happens. You see the greats lose, and she lost. And let's not get it twisted. She ran up against an equally
Complete
as
team.
talented player as well on the other
Yeah.
side. This was a
Yeah.
star-studded game. You had two superstar players who are going to be top 2 to 3 picks in the WNBA whenever they come out, and that's just the fact of the matter. Uh, it's 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 shameful, right? That you can look at it from you can't take a way that you see long hair and women who you don't expect them to play hard and talk shit like that. It's
I love
sad
it.
that yeah, yo, I love it too. Like I love it. You know, I love it on all levels, right? It's just it is what it is. Like, yo, showing that competitive spirit, it is what it is. Like that's a good thing. You know what I mean? And you know, it's I just don't see a problem with it. I mean, um there can be a double standard in these situations like that, and I think some people are spearheading that, and that's why I'm here to have this discussion, because I think I,
Absolutely. And
I think I think Jared Green said it earlier. Like, folks that know the game, this is nothing. This is nothing to them. It's just what you used to seeing.
yeah, and I think that's the problem. Like, when you're making, because if you're saying it's a double standard, now what you're doing is you're attacking people And so what they're thinking is, okay, you're only doing this because, and you're making it about skin. If you the skin color of a player, if you just were like, look, I didn't like the way she taunted her, and I just didn't care about it. Da, da, da. But you can't sit here and say that with conviction when Clark was just doing that 2 games ago. You can't sit there and say, "Oh well, she's a competitor, but this girl's thuggish and ghetto and
Yeah.
all this stuff because she's doing." You can't do that because now you're feeding into the skin color argument because you're
Yeah.
doing that, and he's saying that we're smart. So let me tell you something. There's a guy in this chat named Hendo. Okay, he's in our fantasy football league. He lost the first round. He was the number one team all year. Lost in the first round. I have been clowning him for weeks. Okay, I don't let it go. So no, I know there is no difference. Okay, whether you taunt someone in the moment or you taunt somebody for 15 seconds walking around the court, it's the same damn thing. There's no difference. Okay, you're
I'll
just
say
saying you're just saying there's a difference because you want to make it seem like it's okay to do, and it's not. Don't matter if she follow around. She follow around, and what? You know what you should have did? Should have played better in the game. That's what you
I,
should have. If you don't want her to follow you around, should have played better in the game.
I'll say this,
Done.
Pristine. I'll say this. Uh, like I've been saying all along, right? You're entitled to that opinion of the situation. You feel like they're different. I feel like one is a reaction to the other, right? One is a get back, but you know, I mean, uh, to say it wasn't, I mean, like you saying deliberate versus in the heat of the moment, like I think they're both situations were deliberate. Like I think it becomes deliberate when you know who you are directing it to. Caitlin Clark knew who she was talking to and who she was doing this to. She knew who she was telling to shut up and look at the score. When the game was way out of hand, then it's just it. So I understand what you're saying, but this is my thing. You rubbed us the wrong way when you came in and said she's a thug, right? Keep it at, you didn't like what she did, right? You didn't, you thought it was, she showed poor uh sportsmanship. When you come in the door saying she's a thug, that's a huge problem for myself and my guest. So yeah, like I said, man, you're entitled to feel how you want to feel in this situation, but you took it a step further by calling her a thug off of one situation, one interaction that was very similar to the other. Um, Jared, yeah, I kind of took that, but it's cool.
It don't bother me when someone calls me smart because I'm not smart.
I mean,
But let me say just this, Mike. When he said that she's thug, let me tell you something. I've been portrayed like that.
yeah, of
You know me.
course,
I'm a big nerd. And I have been in a situation where people thought I was a gangbanger. I was a thug because before I had a shaved head, goatee, I looked like a straight cholo, and people have put that on me, not knowing who I am. And you know who I am. You know I'm a big old nerd. I love sports. I don't pull up with bullshit, but I'm a big nerd. I'm not that. I've lived my life or whatever, but I don't let people disrespect me. But I've been put like that. So when you call somebody a thug and you don't know them, like that's just you being ignorant, but also too you're labeling someone you don't even know. And what makes you think that's okay? Like if you know
yeah,
somebody, like I know Mike. Mike knows me. I know Bronny. I know Hendo. I know Jose. I know Ferris. We all know each other. If someone comes in and labels somebody they're not because you don't even know them, then what do you think that makes you okay to do? And that's my
mhm,
problem here. You're labeling stuff. We don't know these girls. We don't know, and
right,
you're labeling this the Angel Reese a thug. Just because the way she acts. Well, you know why she acts like that? Because that's the way she grew up. That's the lifestyle she lived. And it's normal to her. And what you might sit there and go, well, that's thuggish. But what's so thug about it? Because she's confident, because she knows how to play the game, because she wants to talk a little trash, because she knows that she's good. Come on. Like stop. There's nothing there that would insinuate she's a bad person.
yeah.
So
I think
so
I think that's what takes it over. Like, if you don't agree with the play or how she did it or the taunt, that's
yeah.
one thing. But calling her that is just something else. Uh, I was kind of thinking this too, Jeremy. Like when she was doing it, I looked at my wife like, they still do that shit. But and then do further investigation. It started to show the video of Caitlin Clark doing it, and then it's like, oh, okay, so this was
Like, come on, Mike. If you
one
got
of those
dunked
things
on and
to do.
someone did this to you, you'd be mad as hell. So.
I'd be super bad, like, bro, what? Like, I'm more upset that you did that. Like, flex on me.
Mike's gonna put on the sweater and be like, "Nah, you ain't doing that to me."
Flex on me or something before you do this. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, look, it's a and I think this get lost in it too, Hendo. Like, at the end of the day, man, they kids. You know what I'm saying? They're maybe 21 years old, if that. I think Angel is 20. Caitlin Clark is 19, I believe, 19, 20. So they're kids, man, and they out there playing hard. And I respect that. Like I said, this here, I allow people to express their thoughts and their opinions here, but that I think was a little out of line, but I appreciate you saying you shouldn't go to that. But yeah, man, look, we've been here about an hour. This
was supposed to be like a 20 minute
as
stream.
I start every show. Hey, I ain't gonna be here before you long. And it ends up being a lot longer than I expected. But look, man, it's 20 people in here, man, and I appreciate y'all rocking with me. But go hit that like button, man. And if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. It's a lot of good content creators in here. So look them up, help them out. I think Jared Green got his own channel too. The Rogue Pod, of course. LBHT is in here. Suge, you got yours, which I'm gonna let you plug that as well. And I appreciate you jumping on as well. Let's see what Jared said. I remember one game in high school, I thought I had a tackle for loss, but the running back still all the hell out of me. Going back to my huddle, he says, too slow, big boy. Trash talk happened. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's and it all, it really, it makes it fun, man. Like, it's just, look, sooner we might even see a picture of her and Caitlin floating around. Like, like I said, great players, they recognize, like, the game is this is what it is. I got you today, and Caitlin Clark and on the other side of that is saying, yeah, and I'm gonna get you next time. It's just, it is, you cannot deny who Caitlin Clark is as a player. You cannot deny who Angel Reese is a player. They both have fiery styles. You just don't hear it as much from Caitlin Clark's side, but for somebody who watches the game a lot, and I enjoy watching her play. So when I get to see her, I definitely tune in. She's screaming and yelling. She's doing this. She's doing this. She's doing this. She's doing all of that. Like, that's her style of play. She plays. These kids are emulating, and even on the women's side, they're emulating their favorite players, right? The Steph Currys and those type of guys. The Sue Birds, the Diana. Why can't I say her name? Diana Taurasi. Like, they're emulating these players. They play that way.
Yeah.
So it's just think about it that way before y'all start tripping off, and then it spirals down the rabbit hole of becoming a racial thing. Yeah, it's basketball, man. It's basketball, and you know just leave it at that, man. Some kids having fun out there. Jared said nothing more, moved into Friday. We under, man. Be safe, bro. Yeah, I've been seeing some things on the news about that. Be safe.
For sure.
So Suge, man, anything else you want to add to this discussion, man?
No, I mean, like I said, I think that people are the wrong people are making it a big issue. The wrong people are making it a big issue, and the NCAA is going to capitalize on this if they still both are in college next year. Don't be surprised if LSU plays Iowa in some out of conference game, or if they end up on the same bracket, on the same side. If they get to each other, that hype video is going to be like a WWE hype video. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think you know they're gonna. I mean, ESPN was the one that was posting the clip of Angel, right? It
oh yeah,
wasn't
because
some. Yeah, they look. They know what they're doing to stir up some talk about this. They know exactly what they're doing. So if they meet again, it's going to be front page on ESPN website and everything, and all of the above. To hit those points for great players, trash talk is just fuel to motivate. Look, man, we all know the story of Michael Jordan making up the Bradford Smith story. Now, those who are local in the DMV area, you know who LeBradford Smith is. He played for the Washington Bullets at the time, and you know the Bulls were in town to play the Bullets, and Michael Jordan scored like 30 and a half or something like that. Or it might have been more than it might have been like 50 or something. I don't know. He went off, right? And the urban legend is that LeBradford was talking shit to Michael. He scored a bucket or two and was talking shit. But no one can confirm that story. So, like, to Hendo's point, the greats will make up things like that to fuel him. Michael Jordan is well known for making up things like that to fuel him and to get him going. So eh, you're right on that. And Hendo, don't try it, bro. Get your stuff ready
you're
now. You can start. You
going
can
next.
stream
You're
right
going
after
next.
this.
Yeah.
You can
I mean,
stream right after that.
real quick before we get out of here, remember when Magic lost the 85 finals? Or no, sorry, 84. He lost the 84 to the Celtics.
Mhm.
He talked about it. He got depressed. He didn't want to talk to anybody. Went through those
Mhm.
playoffs, got back to the Celtics. Guess what happened in the first game of that finals? The Memorial Day Massacre. They got murked, and he
Mhm.
still came back and won that finals. Trash talk happens. They called him Tragic Magic. They said he wasn't as good as Larry Bird. They did all this stuff. Trash talk is part of the game. It helps motivate you, and I guarantee you, Caitlin Clark's going to be better next year. She's probably gonna recruit some people. She's gonna be like, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah, I think
Anybody ought to come over here.
Caitlin got to come back. I don't think she's draft eligible yet.
Yeah, so
I think
yeah.
Angel can leave, but she does have another year of eligibility, I believe. But who knows, man? Like,
Who knows?
but look, man, shout out to the ladies. Like I said, their tournament, in my opinion, was a little better than the men, especially the
Facts.
Final Four. Man, you saw some great basketball. Um, and I am glad that the ladies are getting their just due and their attention, man, whether it's about this or whatever. Like, if it's going to take this to get you to go and watch a game or two, then it is what it is. Go watch. But the ladies, man, they put on, um, you know, and it's just a salute to them. They've come a long way from, how they were treated just a year or two ago. Not that long ago. That's how they were treated horribly, um, horribly. So shout out to them. Like Jared said, Caitlin is a problem. She clutches for hell. She's a he. Man, look. Anytime you got a player that can score from anywhere on the court, you're in the game. You're in every game. You're in
Yeah.
every game. You have a chance in every game.
They
It's
were
just
close.
that,
They got it down to 7,
yeah,
but
LSU just came out and they balled, man.
yeah.
But it's what it is. Shook, tell the folks where they can find you, man.
Well, you can find me at Suge Knight 323 on Twitter and TikTok. Suge Knight 1323 on Twitch. Tonight on my YouTube channel after WrestleMania, I will be doing a post show. So if you're watching WrestleMania right now, and we're going to talk all about it. Yesterday's card, today's card. Right now, I don't want to spoil it for Brodney, so I won't tell him who won. But there's some great matches that have been going on. The big matches are coming up. So tonight, about 8:15, should be going live right after the last match. We'll be talking wrestling. So if you're into wrestling, come hang out tonight. Other than that, I got Tuesday, I got Steel Conspiracy. And I think this Friday I will be doing a late night with Suge Knight. So come hang out. We'll be talking. I don't know what I'll be talking on Friday, but Tuesday we'll be talking Steelers. We'll be talking Ravens. Probably going to be talking about this with Hendo and Bronny. let them go off about this because it's always fun to talk to Brownie about stuff like this and Hendo. And then just like I said on Sugarnet1323 on my Twitch as usual, where I'm hanging out playing video games. Mike, appreciate you for having me on. I know I hit you up and was in the comments like let me on because I really wanted to talk about this because as soon as I would finish watching the game, I was on Twitter and I just started seeing people just going hard about this. I'm like, are you really? Is this what we're really going to fight about? Like, come on, like, why are we doing this? And so it was a little annoying. So.
Man.
Thank you. I appreciate it for letting me come on.
I'm glad you hopped on, man. I'm just not talented enough to be working all of this shit by myself, but I'm glad B got you the link. You're always available. Dang, Hendo. I mean, I'm just saying, bro. That's what they saying. I don't know. You ducking. Zaul Martinez, man. What's up, man? He said yes. The whole tournament for the ladies side was incredible. That is true. I was OTR was going to be doing Nick's videos. I don't look. He got to get OTR Brandon involved. I'll do it. I don't know nothing about Knicks basketball, bro. You see, I wear Baltimore stuff, but I'm willing to jump on there with him, for sure. But look, man, that's another episode of Open Mic with yours truly, man. Look, follow me on social media. OTR_Mike on Twitter and TikTok, and OTR Mike _ on Instagram. Follow me. I usually follow you back unless you're on that weird shit. And we had a few in here today that, probably won't be getting followed back. But anyway, I appreciate any and everybody who jumped in today to show some love. As you can see, it is time for me to wrap it up as I got someone over here making a lot of noise. But look, man, appreciate y'all jumping in here with me. I am also, let me Chocolate Lady Cap is in here. Let me get this for her. I became an instant fan of Angel Reese because of what she did. Can't see me. You can't see me.
Telling you, Mike got hit with one of these. Somebody was getting knocked out.
I walk it out, man. I walk it out. But look, for all my audio podcast listeners, man, this is available on all your favorite streaming platforms. So check it out and give your boy a 5-star like. Also, man, check out some of these other great content creators in here. Big Reg, man, Hendo at the Rogue Pod, Jared Green, Brodney, who's in here. He is my boss, but he is also one half of Lunch Break High, taking 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast that I am a part of. So go check out all of that stuff, man. And look, until next time, I'll holla at y'all, man. Maybe another surprise, maybe not. Brandon, maybe just a regular episode tomorrow. We'll see, man. You gotta wait and see. But look, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Shug, man, how much longer? Look, what time the wrestling thing jumping off, man? I might check that out.
Shoot, there we like another hour or 15 minutes. They just finished women's championship match, so I think there's like two or three matches left. So yeah, I'll be going live late tonight. But it's like the weird thing about being on the West Coast. It's like 8 o'clock for me, but it's like 1 o'clock for y'all, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock for y'all. So but about a couple hours right now. They're just finished the women's matchup.
All right, cool. Well, that's it, good people. We out, man. We'll holler at y'all. Peace.
It's your boy Verse, and this is Open Mic with OTR Mike.
Yeah, that's right. This is the show where the mic is open for any discussion.
Feeling about OTR. I don't think we're done.
I'm just trying to find something that's going to be interesting. Then obviously on the Wednesday we got the actual show and then the overtime show, and I know
I'm all about.
It's your boy Verse, and this is